Okay, yeah. So we are starting. Yeah, so as I mentioned, the first agenda for today is we will be hearing from our editor Shengul about this year's report and the changes from last year. So I would like to introduce Shengul, our marketing head, and also the editor for this year's report. Hi, Shengul.
Hello, Catherine, and hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are joining from. So I will keep the things brief and quickly run you through the updates of this year's index, basically. So let me share my screen quickly to have some visual support as well. I hope you can see it, right? Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, this year's index has been published. I mean, this index is published since 2017, and this is our eighth edition, as Catherine mentioned in the beginning. But each year we're excited to add new things inside, and also this year we have much more cities ranked. As you can see, more than 1,400 cities, and more than 100 countries are covered in this index. So what we really like about the index is the fact that it's objective and quantifiable data. So it is not based on someone's opinions or surveys. So it really merges different data points for giving you the rankings. And I will leave Gers discuss this point much more comprehensively. But basically what we have new in this year's report, we have three new exciting features added to the report. One that we really loved is the annual ecosystem growth rate, which is basically looking at last year's index total score and this year's index total score in calculating how much an ecosystem grow, giving us much better picture of the ecosystem's progress. We also added data boxes to ecosystem pages. So when you land to each country, you'll be able to see now different data points that we have, like number of unicorns, number of exits since 2015, how many Y Combinator starts they have, and so on. So this is the second edition that we made to this year's index. And finally, we have an exciting two announcements in the end, both in the report and I think in the end of this event. This year, we choose one country and one city as startup ecosystems of the year. Not just looking at their growth rates, but also the practices and the policies they implemented to grow their startup ecosystems. So I will leave the excitement to the end so that we can announce it, or you can go to the report and check it out. But other than that, what I can say is the full rankings are on the report. The team will share it on the channel, on the chat, so you can take a look at it. And if you're really interested about why behind this data, we have full access to each parameter under Startup Link Pro. So you can also take a look at that one. And with that, I will keep it short as promised and leave it to Gers to walk us through the key findings.
Thank you, Shengul. Thank you very much. Hello to you all. Very happy to be here and very happy that you're all here to join us in the launch of our expected Startup Ecosystem Index for 2025. I will also try to keep things short, as Shengul said, but let me introduce myself briefly. My name is Gers. I am the head of data at Startup Link. I've been working in the company for the last 4.5 years, more or less. And yeah, I've been in charge of gathering the data and processing the data, and in this way calculating the rankings that we present today, okay? So without further ado, I'm going to start sharing my screen to show a little bit about the main findings we had this year, okay? So I'm going to start with a brief introduction to our methodology, okay? Basically, the idea here is for you guys to understand a little bit more about how we do calculate these rankings. We have a total score, and we rank ecosystems both at the city and country levels based on this total score. And this total score is basically the sum of three sub-scores, which are quantity score, quality score, and the startup business environment score. The quantity score has the core question of analyzing how many of a lot of parameters, including the number of startups, investors, accelerators, co-working spaces, and so on. But it's related to the quantity of these organizations in each ecosystem, right? The quality is being, of course, analyzed in the quality score, and here we look at things like how much money have these startups raised, these startups from the ecosystem raised, how good this startup, how much traction these startups have calculated using SEMrush metrics of traffic and so on. Number of special entities like unicorns, exits, leaders in the ecosystem, our own pantheon concept of major organizations that have contributed to the ecosystem, and other parameters such as startup events, startups accepted to global accelerators, market capitalization of public technology companies, R&D centers of multinational technology companies, and so on. Okay, so yeah, this is the subscore that analyzes how good the environment for how good the ecosystem is for startups and how good the startups in the ecosystem are. And then we have the startup business environment, the third and last subscore that we have, which includes mostly national level indicators that analyze how good the ecosystem is at the business environment level, right? So internet speed, cost of internet, R&D investment of the country, level of English, corporate tax rate, and so on. We also have a couple of parameters that are city level also, which are the top universities per location and the corporate startup activity per location, which is based also on the ranking that we launched a couple of months ago at Startup Link ranking. What are the best corporations according to their startup activity? So in these three subscores, we have more than 30 parameters that we're analyzing, and we calculate the total score. And in this way, we rank cities and countries according to the startup ecosystem strength. We have more than 1,000 cities ranked this year and more than 100 countries ranked this year. And I'm going to show you now what the main results for this year's rankings are, right? So at the regional, well, as Shingul mentioned, we are also introducing a new metric this year, which is the ecosystem growth. And this basically, what we do here is that we calculate the variation, the percentage variation of the total score between 2024 and 2025, right? So in this way, we calculate, we have ecosystems competing against themselves, right? Not only against others, which is the nature of the rankings. So we also, this growth, we made it at a regional level based on the cities that are in these locations, and we have found that the regions that are growing the most this year, according to their startup activity, are Asia Pacific and Europe, with 27 and 26% growth respectively. And at the sub-regional level, we have a top leader, which is Central Asia, with 43% growth, aided by some of the top growing ecosystems that we have this year, such as Uzbekistan and Azerbaijan. But we also have East Asia and Middle East with strong growth. Okay, and yeah, this is at the industry. At the regional level. On industries, we have found that the industries that have increased their number of startups the most are food tech, hardware, and energy and environment, all with more than 40% increase in the number of startups for the industries. And now we go basically to the trends, right? So this is a graph showing what are the trends at the country level over the last 5 years. So basically since 2021 to 2025, how the rankings of countries have changed. And we have some big winners here. For example, Singapore. Singapore has gone from 10th globally in 2021 to 4th globally in 2025. If you can see, this is actually the first time this year in which the top four has changed. It had remained basically the same since 2021, United States, United Kingdom, Israel, and Canada. But this year there was a flip between Singapore and Canada, Singapore taking the fourth spot from Canada, right? But we also have some other nice winners like France going from 12th to 8th, or Japan. Japan, they have gone from 22nd, sorry, Japan here, from 21st to 18th this year. So there's a lot of changes in the distribution in the rankings of these country ecosystems. Although the top three, as mentioned, are remaining the same. The United States holds the top spot, the UK the second, and Israel the third spot. Okay. As for the cities, we have that the trends in the top cities, we see, we see a few winners. Again, we see, for example, Paris following the trend of France from 11 to 8 in 2021 to 8 in 2025. We also have Singapore City, which is ranked 12th this year in the world, was ranked 25th 5 years ago. So that is a massive increase in such a competitive side of the rankings. So we want to celebrate this, of course. Other winners, we have Tokyo, Austin, Shenzhen, Seoul. But yeah, in the same way, we have a lot of changes. As you can see, I recommend you guys to download the report and see with more detail the geographies, the locations that are most interesting for you. Okay, so apart from these results at the top, I also wanted to discuss a few interesting points, let's say. We have two new ecosystems at the top 100 this year. We have Uzbekistan and Oman are newly top 100 countries this year. And we also wanted to celebrate two locations, as I think Şengül mentioned before, for their great performances. Although it's not in the top 20, but they are nevertheless great examples of how this ecosystem, how governments and other ecosystem stakeholders can introduce policies and initiatives to increase the value of their startup ecosystem. So Saudi Arabia, for example, is the fastest growing country in the world with, one second, let me find them here. But Saudi Arabia is the fastest growing in the world. Saudi Arabia is 37th this year, experiencing a 37 spot jump. And it's the only country that has an ecosystem growth rate of more than 100%. And then we only have, this is a result of basically great implementation of policies that we have seen, policies supporting the startup ecosystem that we have seen in the last couple of years. And at the city level, we also wanted to celebrate Baku. Baku is also, they have a very interesting growth rate of around 24%. Let me find Baku 1 second. But Baku has around 24% growth rate, and we also celebrate their policies. as they have used digitalization as a tool to grow startup ecosystem, which we think is a great example of also a startup ecosystem stakeholder intervention. So apart from this, I just wanted to, after showing these high-level results, I wanted to take it back to Shengul and Catherine so we can start the event with the startup ecosystem leaders that are going to be presenting today. Thank you very much. I remind you to download the report at startuplink.com and have a great event.
Thank you very much, Gers. I do think we have one question. Do you have time? I think we have time to answer one of the questions. Do you see it, Gers? I think it's a question from Business World. Could you explain the consecutive decline in the Philippines and any suggestions on how it can be more attractive to investors and startups?
1 second, let me check out the question, but okay, so in the Philippines, we have as mentioned, we have a decrease of around 4 spots this year. This is a result of a very, let's say, very slow ecosystem growth. Okay, so the ecosystem growth of the Philippines is around 0.56%, 0.56% this year, and although it's being overtaken even by locations that are also decreasing the ranking. So at the level of the rankings that we have the Philippines, which is 64, we basically want to increase the business score, the startup environment score, basically make it as easy as possible to set up a startup on the business level, eliminate red tape, increase the access, the access and speed of internet and price for entrepreneurs, and support entrepreneurs any way that it can be done, and without forgetting about the quantity. Create as much initiatives as possible, as much startups as possible, to make sure that some of them will indeed have great results in the future. So yeah, I think that would be my recommendation at this point.
Thank you very much, Gers. Thank you for that very very thorough answer about the Philippines. And yes, if you have any questions, feel free to also message us. I think we have another question about food tech, but I think we will be releasing a separate food tech report regarding that. So since most of you here are in our newsletter, and if not, please subscribe. We will be distributing another report focused on food tech, where we would be discussing that more thoroughly, because on this report we are actually looking at ecosystems as a whole, so there's not a lot of analysis on the industry level. But if you have more questions, feel free to also contact us, and maybe we can jump on a call and discuss. Thank you. And yeah, so thank you, Gers, and thank you, Shengul, for sharing more information about the report. If you have not downloaded the report yet, please feel free to download it at lp.startuplink.com/report. Yes, so I think now we can start to the next part of our event, which is the ecosystem pitching. I would like to ask her to promote our colleague Lisa, who will be helping me will be with me in introducing our presenters for this session. Great. So yeah, so while we're waiting for that part, I just wanted to again remind everyone that this session we will be hearing from ecosystems around the world. We will be hearing from different ecosystems like Cyprus, Singapore, Kaohsiung in Taiwan, Istanbul, Namibia, Georgetown, Da Nang, Barcelona, and South Korea, and Helsinki. So it's a really diverse presentations that we will be hearing. And we will know more about these ecosystems and how they are faring in their ecosystems and their in the ecosystems that they have. Before we start, we would like to also inform everyone that for the first time, we're actually launching the report on site. So we have an event right now in Singapore where our CEO, 𝗬𝗲𝗿 is actually presenting the results of this year. So that's a first time for us. And aside from this, for those that just joined us and did not hear at the beginning, we also have an online session at 3 p.m. where we can hear more about other ecosystems from around the world. So before we start, I would just like to introduce everyone to Lisa. Hi, Lisa.
Hello, how are you? Hi, everybody. It's great to be here and excited to be able to share the insights from all of our partners and the different locations. So yeah, thank you so much, Katrin.
Well, I just noticed that we have some questions actually. So we have one question about accessing the report from last year. We do have the report or the rankings from last year, but you need to have pro access in order to get them. But if you see on the momentum on their website, maybe I can share right now, so to show everyone how it looks like. So on the website, you can see here, so this is the 2025 results this year. So you can see here the global rank, and here is the momentum. So for example, Beijing went up by 1, Paris went up by 2. So if you just want to compare between last year and this year, this is a good way. Otherwise, if you need it for research, we do have the Pro account, which will allow you to go to different years, 2025 until 2027. So are there any other questions from the crowd before we start our pitching session? So the first ecosystem that we will be hearing from is the ecosystem of Kaohsiung City in Taiwan. We will be hearing from Anita Chen, who is the Chief of International Affairs at Startup Terrace. Anita, while waiting for Anita to be promoted, just wanted to share some information about Kaohsiung. So Kaohsiung is currently the 5th ecosystem in Taiwan. It increased by 136 spots in this year's report. And the industries where it is performing well in is VR and AR, where it is currently 6th in East Asia. Hi, Anita.
Hello. Good morning or good afternoon to all of you.
And it's nice to see you again. Yes, so the floor is yours. We're excited to hear more about the ecosystem.
Thank you. So I can share my slides on my own. Wait a moment. Can everyone see my slides?
Yes, we can see it now. So yeah, we'll restart the timer. So you have more time. Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Okay. So 5 minutes starts now. Thank you, Anita.
Okay. So thank you for everyone that and thanks for Startup Blink for having me here. I'm Anita from Taiwan Startup Terrace. So I try to brag that how great Taiwan is for the startup to launch pad for your global market. So allow me to give you some basic information about the entire ecosystem of Taiwan startups. So in this part that you can see that the number of startups in Taiwan is gradually increasing. I'm not saying that it's boosting, but at least you can say that stably that increase. And so far that we have nearly 9,000 startup in Taiwan, which is a small island, maybe you think. And some of you might have visited Taiwan before. And so as you know that Taipei is the capital of Taiwan. And so the majority of the startup stakeholders that they gather in Taipei. But it doesn't mean that you don't get resources or opportunity in other cities of Taiwan. And here you can see that the landscape of the startup industry field is like this. And as you know that maybe Taiwan has been famous with our hardware manufacturing, and we used to very good at OEM, ODM. So that made that something unique about the startup ecosystem in Taiwan, that we do have almost 10% of the startup they're working on hardware. And if you put the manufacturing startup in together, that is almost 15%. I think that's something special for Taiwan startup ecosystem with others. And the second one, the second trendy topic is about healthcare. And I do encounter a lot of startups. They come to Taiwan because they have great idea, great technology, and they do want to put in practical medical devices, and they come to Taiwan. So this part that the fundamental advantage of Taiwanese hardware industry make a lot of help for them. So that's the landscape of the Taiwan startup ecosystem here. And in such a small island that we have a lot of startup hubs in Taiwan. So when I talk about hub, that means they, apart from programs or acceleration program mentorship, we do have the space for startup. So almost 100 startup hubs in Taiwan. And you can see that I put two logos a little bit bigger than others. That's where I'm from, Taiwan Startup Terrace. You will see the green one, and the other is orange, and one in North Taiwan, and the other one in South Taiwan. So I think most of people that who have some understanding about Taiwan may be more familiar with the Taiwan. But so now today, I would like to take the chance to introduce more about the Star Terrace in Kaohsiung, the orange one. So for Star Terrace, that actually is a central government project by Taiwanese government, so conducted by the Ministry of Economic Affairs. And you can see that the two campuses, that one opened in 2019, the other one opened 2 years later. And because we do found that even Taiwan is small, but the industry fields are quite different between north and south. So for South Taiwan, you can see that we have the corridor that mainly focus on semiconductor supply chain, and really, really famous here, and the electronic vehicle components, and a lot of manufacturing supply chains here, but also that we have 5G, AIoT, ICT like others. And you can see that just in the south of Taiwan, we have 13 science parks and almost 100 suppliers and a lot of university to provide the great talents and great research energies here. So the overview of Kaohsiung, because I'm so afraid that maybe some of you never heard of Kaohsiung. It's the second largest city of Taiwan. So you can see the size, but something really interesting, as I mentioned, that the industry dimension is really different. So in South Taiwan, we have more industry apart from ICT. We have petrochemical, metal, or electronics, and maritime logistics, because we do have ports and harbors in Kaohsiung, and they play a really important role on the international logistic, and agriculture. So which is something that might not so frequently to be seen in North Taiwan. So if we put it we look back, and the landscape in the entire Kaohsiung Star Terrace that is located in the 5G AIoT Innovation Park. So surrounded by the Star Terrace here, we have the Kaohsiung Music Center, we have the Cruise Pro Terminal, we have the Exhibition Center, Software Technology Park, and all along aside the ocean. So that also means that you have the great view of that. And so our vision is to become the first brand of the startup cluster in Southern Taiwan. And we do a lot of corporate startup engagement, especially as I mentioned that the industry dimension is quite different. And many traditional manufacturing factories, they locate in Southern Taiwan, and they now looking for more digital transformation. So they have even stronger demand on the startup solutions. And so we also become the Great South International Startup Hub. So here you can see that who are our partners and what's our benefits, the advantage that, innovation friendly spaces. We do have the office and the demo area, meeting room, and close to the exhibition center. And we work with a lot of accelerator. So for ourselves, that we cannot accelerate, but we work with those professional accelerator. They provide a lot of programs, and we have the hands-on expertise on legal, on the tax, on the hiring, and so the full package service, including, like I mentioned, business registration, consulting, or your visa problem. So that's all the service that we can provide, since it's a central government project. So it's really comprehensive. So we have co-working space, independent office, and demo room, and the proof of concept field that you can use. So here are just some pictures that I really want to show you, and hope that to seduce you to come visit and witness on your own. So that's the environment we have. And so far that we have 120 residencies, including startup, corporate, or accelerator. And also that for the software part, that we work with Microsoft, AWS, and Google. So they all provide the cloud platform for our startup if you are resident of Star Terrace. And something really cool is that we do know that even you have great solutions, you want it to be applied. So we work with those big tech companies. Actually, not only tech company, because apart from MediaTek, TSMC, Advantech, this tech company, we also work with L'Oreal and some logistic company, telecom companies, the adjacent problem they're facing. So you can see the first year we start this tech challenge in 2022. Only 17 companies that join us. They're willing to tell us what's the problem they are facing, and they believe that we can help them to find innovative solutions to solve the problem. And the second year, getting more, and the last year we have more, around 30 companies, and the 1+1 is the city. So even the city, Selangor from Malaysia, they joined this tech challenge to tell us that what's the challenge their city is facing. And we open the call to startups that come and give a try, raise your hand, see if you have great solution to help them. So in total, that 75 corporate, they have joined us, and just on the 91 challenges that we came up more than 450 solutions. So it's just like we create the platform like App Store, and a lot of great solution they come out, and the corporate, they can choose the one who suit them the best. So this year that we have 3 topics. One is about healthcare, the second one about green tech, and the third one that Selangor of Malaysia, they also joined the challenge this year. So all the information, all the challenges they address, that you can get it from our website. So some global project that we know that Taiwan is not big enough market for great startup. So we do have the outbound program. So in the past years that we have been Singapore, Philippines, Indonesia, then Japan, and that's the one in South, because the startup terrorists in the North, they actually went to some other countries, some other market like European, United States. So we do have different approaches. And we attend a lot of global exhibitions, not only in Taiwan. Just right the moment we have Computex here, the founder of NVIDIA always flies to Taiwan for that great event. But we also fly out to Singapore, to other countries to extend the exhibition, to display the great solutions. So we support the startup, they can showcase the solution. And the third one is that we also want to embrace more and more international startups innovation. So we have the inbound program, that soft landing program. And actually now we have 2 batch per year. Before we only have 1 batch, but now we have 2 batch per year. And once you got selected and we become your free BD in Taiwan, we help you to find the possible collaborative stakeholders in Taiwan. You just make the list, and we will help you to make the cold call, and to arrange the meetings, arrange the visits, and also responsible for your flight ticket, round trip flight ticket. So that's a good opportunity. So about the residency, that qualification, if you are wondering that who can be part of the Star Terrace, that if you're 5G, AIoT, deep tech, smart manufacturer, ESG, healthcare, and the biotech, sorry, that's bio, smart agriculture, transportation, you're eligible. And the most important is that the definition of the startup in Taiwan is that you need to be established for less than 8 years. So what we can offer is that co-working space, consulting, exhibition support, and matchmaking, and cloud service, and POC facilitation, means proof of concept project. So for example, one of our company, they're working on the AI camera to check the car flow and people flow. So, but he cannot just put his camera on anywhere he wants and to collect the data. So we help him to negotiate with the parking lot and some even hospital to do the proof of concept project to become the pilot project for him, because since they're recommended by the central government project, which is more convincing and more opportunity for them. And so what we'll check that it's that if you're really under 8 years and your company background. And so after this check, that we will sincerely welcome you to become part of Taiwan Startup Terrace. So don't worry that if you say, okay, but I don't really fly to Taiwan really often, or I don't really need the physical office. We also have the virtual residency to offer. So once you register the virtual residencies, that you can enjoy all the service that we just mentioned, like the cloud service and the consulting service, the POC facilitation. So you will be treated like part of the Taiwan Star Terrace. And like I say, that we do hope that Taiwan can be the hub for any international companies that want to connect to Asian market. Something I didn't mention is that Taiwan is small and we're good at manufacturing, but we also that maybe you don't think that's the center of Asia, but to any major capital of Asian city, that Taiwan is always less than 4 hours away from it. So that we do have the company, they put their headquarters in Taiwan, and sometimes they need to fly to Singapore, Thailand, or Japan. Everywhere is like less than 4 hours. So that's the convenient part. So that's briefly introduced Star Terrace, and hope that can give you some first idea about what Taiwan Star ecosystem. And feel free to contact me. And my name is Anita. You can either mail me or find me on LinkedIn. Just type Anita Chen, or you scan the link tree, and you will find all the detail about Star Terrace. So here comes my presentation. Feel free to ask questions.
Thank you, Anita. Thank you for telling us more about calcium. Thank you again. Okay. So our next presentation, we will be hearing more about the ecosystem of Cyprus from Mr. Theodoros, who is the Director General of Research and Innovation Foundation. So while we're promoting Mr. Theodoros, I'll talk to you more about some great achievements of Cyprus in this year's report. So currently, Cyprus is ranked 40th globally. It recorded the highest jump in the EU for the second year in a row, and all of its cities are increasing. And our overperforming industries for Cyprus are gaming, which they are second globally, and fintech, where they are third in Southern Europe. So hi, Theo, Mr. Theodoros, how are you?
Good morning, good afternoon. I'm very well, thank you. Hello from Cyprus. I am about to get on a plane to promote Cyprus in Germany this time. So we're doing our level best to raise the visibility of this rising star of startup ecosystem Cyprus. And Cyprus in recent years has made great progress. And we're Europe's innovation gateway and a true regional hub at the crossroads of 3 continents, providing access to the single market, but also some high growth markets beyond the European Union. So with that said, we're sitting in a very geostrategic location. The government of Cyprus has a very pro-business and pro-innovation agenda with low cost of doing business and extensive business support services, professional services, operating under common law as a former British colony. And of course, the economy is growing. It maintains a very positive economic outlook despite the global geopolitical developments. Moody's, Fitch, Standard & Poor's have all upgraded the Cypriot economy, and it's standing now at 2.9% projected growth. Cyprus is the only country that makes it in the top countries, the top 10 of the European Commission, the European Innovation Scoreboard, ranked for 3 years in a row as a strong innovator. And we're also 27th in the Global Innovation Index. Next slide, please. So this is a very rapidly growing innovation ecosystem, which features more than 500 startups and scale-ups. In recent years, we have seen over 140 technology companies relocating to Cyprus, choosing to establish presence, bring people, talent, and business here in Cyprus and grow from Cyprus internationally. We have an increasing number of entrepreneurs who dare to think big and act bigger from Cyprus. 15 plus incubators and accelerators providing crucial services for entrepreneurs at different stages of their entrepreneurial journey to be successful in the market. And we have also seen 60 VC investors in the country investing in startups and scale-ups. We also have a very rich and dense research system with 12 universities, 7 centers of excellence, 10 research institutes, and about 3,500 researchers who carry out state-of-the-art research work here in Cyprus. And we're always looking for ways to tap into that knowledge and turn it into products and services that have an international, a global appeal. On to the next slide, please. So this is just a few of the logos. There are, of course, many more who operate from Cyprus to the world. So if we can please move on to the next slide. So great news for us, and thank you for that. Cyprus, for the very first time, makes it into the top 40 in the Startup Link startup ecosystem globally. The country's performance has been growing year on year. We're experiencing the fastest growth at 28%, We climbed into the top 20 startup ecosystems in Europe. That's another achievement for us. And as you've already mentioned, Catherine, second in gaming worldwide with Limassol, one of the cities in Cyprus, ranking first in the EU, third in fintech across the Southern Europe, ninth in blockchain. And there are, of course, other verticals that are experiencing growth. And we're doing our level best to facilitate and continue with that growth in the years to come. What's also very important to mention is that we're seeing more and more people daring to take the entrepreneurial career path. And we're very glad that we're facilitating them in their every step of their journey. So on to the next slide, please. So it's not just that. McKinsey & Co. Put Cyprus as 6th in startup scaling success rate in Europe. That's yet another achievement for us. Obviously, startup being with the momentum that you are recognizing in your report, you have named us as a real star in Europe. The Atomico State of European Tech 2024, Cyprus has emerged as a notable player in the tech ecosystem, particularly in terms of investment relative to GDP, standing 8th in Europe and 15th globally for the 10 years period from 2015 to the end of 2024. And in the Global Innovation Index, it's not just that we're standing on 27th, it's more importantly that the level of innovation outputs is higher than the level of investment, which means that we're effectively translating investments into products, services that reach international markets. And if we move on to the next slide, please. So we are the national funding agency for research and innovation. We are funding anything and everything from fundamental research all the way to manufacturing innovative products that reach international markets through our national funding programs, through an array of services, protecting intellectual assets, turning them into intellectual property, supporting entrepreneurs with a lot of mentorship and other support services that they need, and also acting as the national contact points into the Horizon Europe program, which gives access to close to 100 billion euros of funding across different activities. So on to the next slide, please. And here is a short overview of our funding programs. If you're an entrepreneur, you're in your very early days, or you're thinking of setting up a company, the pre-seed program offers 120,000 euros to make your first step towards building a minimum viable product. If that is not enough, then 500,000 can help you continue your new product or service development to reach the international markets. When we see that companies gain traction, when they generate revenues, when they have significant substance, then they can tap into the Innovate program, which gives them up to 1 million euros funding. We also have tools that are in the form of blended finance, whereby we expect applicants, startuppers, scale-uppers to raise private investments. And if they do, they can tap into our money, government money, in the form of equity-free grants in order to scale up internationally from Cyprus to the world. So on to the next slide. And it's not just about the funding schemes that we provide. Cyprus has a very, very nice tax and mobility incentive scheme, starting from the startup visa schemes, which provides founders, C-level executives, and also their staff who are non-EU citizens to actually live, work, and build their startups from Cyprus. There is also a scientific visa scheme, which allows people who are highly skilled to come, live, and work in Cyprus and work in research and innovation intensive companies, including startups. We highly skilled individuals can benefit from 50% tax deductions on their income tax. There is also a 50% tax exemption for investors who invest in innovative companies, innovative SMEs here in Cyprus, and that has helped us mobilize a lot of investment into startups in recent years. We also offer a tax deduction of 120% on R&D expenditure, be it in a startup or a more mature company. And last but not least, the crown jewel at the very top, the IP regime, which is the best IP regime across the EU. It brings down the effective corporate tax to 2.5%. So if you're a startup or a scale-up which is monetizing already, you're generating profits. That means that you're only going to pay 2.5% if you hold your intellectual property in a company in Cyprus and you work from here, generating profits anywhere in the world. So into the next slide, I think that's the last slide. The thing that I say about this slide is that the breadth of innovative activity on this island is phenomenal. We see clusters emerging in biotech. We see clusters emerging in fintech, very strong cluster indeed. We see startups and scale-ups operating in cyber, in clean tech, in sports tech, in femtech, in legal tech and reg tech, and of course, maritech. So there is a lot of innovative activity going on. We couldn't fit them all in one slide, but we're glad that we had the opportunity to offer you a glimpse on what Cyprus can offer to startups, scale-uppers who wish to operate from Cyprus to the world. So with that said, thank you very much. And I look forward to hearing the rest of the presentation.
Thank you very much. It's great to hear more about Cyprus and the programs and all, of course, the progress in the ecosystem. So we're excited to hear more progress in next year's report, of course. Thank you again, Mr. Theodoros.
Thank you.
So our next ecosystem we will be traveling to Asia, and we will be hearing about the ecosystem of Singapore from Liang Chao, who is the Deputy Director at Enterprise Singapore. So while we are promoting him, I will just give a few of the achievements of Singapore this year. So this year, Singapore country is currently 4th globally after increasing by 1 spot. It is 1st in Asia. While the city is currently 12th globally and 5th in Asia Pacific. Other performing industries are fintech, where the country is 2nd globally, and e-commerce and retail, where the country is also 2nd globally. Hello, Liang Chao. How are you? Thank you for joining us today.
Hi, I'm doing well. Thank you.
So I'll just share your slides and you can begin. Your 5-minute starts. Thank you again.
Right, thanks. Hi, this is Liang Qiao from Enterprise Singapore. So Enterprise Singapore is a government agency championing enterprise development. We work very closely with companies to build capabilities, innovate, and internationalize. We also support the growth of Singapore as a hub for global trading and startups. So I'm very happy to share on Singapore's startup ecosystem with the members attending today. So Singapore is strategically situated in Southeast Asia with excellent connectivity and market access, a pro-business environment, and very strong government support towards innovation. So these attributes are also recognized and reflected in some of the global indexes. So we have a vibrant startup ecosystem with over 4,500 tech startups, an extensive range of research and innovation performers, capital providers, and corporates serving as demand drivers. Next slide, please. Next. So Singapore is a strong location for funding in Asia. So there is substantial funding and initiatives to support startups in emerging sectors, for instance, in quantum or whether it's in advanced materials. Next. So I briefly shared about Enterprise Singapore and the roles that we play just now. But some of the key pillars of activities are as highlighted in this slide. So over the next few slides, I will share briefly as well on each of these pillars. So to deepen global connections and expand overseas, we enable companies to do so via our Global Innovation Alliance and co-innovation programs. We catalyze platforms for co-innovation with not just the public sector, but also with the private sector partners, where we share challenge statements with solvers. So, for example, the Open Innovation Network is one of the key channels and platforms for us to do so. And since it has been started, there has been at least 660 challenge statements that have been shared. I think below are some of the examples of the partners that we have been working with. We strengthen human capital for founders, for startups to obtain talent that is needed for them to grow, as well as for research talent, for them to gain access to valuable industry experience through projects. And we also catalyze financing opportunities for startups, whether it is through platforms for startups to be connected to investors, or through the stimulation of private sector investments through co-investments with third-party investors. We create a network of support or infrastructure of support to the startup community. It is through both physical means as well as digital spaces. For example, through physical means, we work very closely with our sister agencies, industrial landlords, to provide spaces for companies to anchor developments, or through digital spaces, for example, through the part on the right, for startups to connect digitally with one another. And we also connect global and local innovation and startup ecosystem together through Switch, which is the Singapore Week of Innovation and Technology. So Switch itself, it offers premier thought leadership, networking opportunities, as well as showcase events and a pitching competition. So this year, Switch is happening from 29th to the 30th to the 31st of October 2025. So do join us at the event. And on pitching competition that I mentioned just now, it covers 4 challenge domains as listed below, whether it's in the manufacturing technology and connectivity segment, or whether it's in the environmental sector. So we have had wide participations across markets over the past few years. And for deep tech startups who are interested to find out more or participate in this deep tech challenge, they can also find out more through the QR code that is listed in this slide. And before I end, I would also like to share an initiative that we have been working on with fellow Singapore government agencies and partners on, which is Stage 1. So startups looking, next slide, please. So startups looking to set up and establish their base from Singapore can tap on Stage 1 as an initiative to do so. This is a one-stop platform to connect local and global tech startups, drive opportunities for collaboration with corporates and innovation partners. So it will offer programs as well and services to startups in setup, incorporation, capability building for business growth, and provide opportunities for market access and internationalization. So to find out more, you can also access the site using the QR code that we have listed right at the end of at the very last slide. Yes, right at this slide. So thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much for joining us, Yang Chow. Thank you for sharing more about the different programs that Enterprise Singapore has, and of course about Stage 1. So as was mentioned, if you're interested to relocate to Singapore or just to know more about the ecosystem, feel free to scan the QR code on the screen. Thank you again, Yang Chow. Have a great day. Thank you for arriving. Okay, so we are again going to continue our world tour, and we will be hearing from the ecosystem of Namibia. We will be hearing from Linda McLeod, who is the Manager for Startup and Scale at Namibia Investment Promotion and Development Board. Namibia currently is second in Southern Africa, and overperforming industries are energy and environment and e-commerce and retail. So welcome, Linda. Thank you for joining us today.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. And just want to make sure if you can hear me.
Yes, we hear you well.
Okay, thank you so much for having us. My name is Linda McLeod, as introduced. I represent the Namibia Investment Promotion and Development Board. So for those that don't know Namibia is strategically located as a gateway to Southern Africa development community. region via the port of Walfish Bay, which is a coastal town of Namibia. The country offers access to a market of over 330 million people through SADC and more than 1 billion through the African Continental Free Trade Area. Our country's location is advantageous for both startups with regional and global ambitions. Since gaining our independence in 1990, the country has maintained political stability, creating a secure and predictable environment for long-term investment. Our country boasts well-developed infrastructure, including Africa's top-ranked networks, efficient ports and airports, and a sophisticated communication system. Mobile penetration currently exceeds 110%, while internet access is steadily increasing at a 62.2%. Namibia's financial system is ranked 6th in Africa, which provides strong infrastructure for capital infrastructure. Our country is also attracting emerging sectors as well as investors, as it presents opportunities in high growth and emerging sectors. It is a continental leader in green investments with over 250 gigawatts of renewable energy potential and strong momentum in green hydrogen. The agro-processing industry continues to grow, supported by access to premium export markets such as North America and Europe. Tourism, particularly ecotourism and meetings, incentive conferences and exhibitions known as MICE, adds further appeal to the country. While oil and gas discoveries alongside fintech, digital services, manufacturing, transport and logistics, as well as mining technology continue to attract investors' interest. Our youthful population with a median age of 21.3 enhances our country's attractiveness as a test market for both digital services and technological innovation. So it's very evident that the country is becoming a rise of the startup ecosystem, not in the region, but in the Southern African region, but also as on the broader African landscape. The ecosystem is gaining traction as a dynamic innovation hub underpinned by stable governance, geographic advantages, and a progressive policy landscape. With increasing emphasis on renewable energy, our country is becoming a testbed for sustainable technologies, especially in energy technology and storage. Startups benefit from Namibia's efficient logistics infrastructure, offering seamless access to Southern Africa and supporting growth in cross-border trade and logistics technology. The country's evolving regulatory environment also makes it an ideal launchpad for global innovators. Notable startups include 𝗬𝗲, which is local, Pebble, Yeni AI, and we've also attracted global players such as Hyphen Hydrogen Energy, Clean Energy Solutions, Kahoko Energy, Cal Blue, Benguela Aqua Fishing, and Nopal. Government recognition of the startup sector is evident through the approval of the recent National Informal Economy, Startup Entrepreneurship and Development Policy called NESED, and our National Digital Strategy, both which prioritize technology and entrepreneurship as drivers of economic diversification. Furthermore, Namibia is also positioning itself as an enabler of fintech development, as we host 2 regulatory sandbox, one led by the Bank of Namibia, the central bank, and the other by the Namibia Financial Institutions Supervisory Authority, known as NAMFISA. They both provide controlled environments where innovative financial solutions can be safely tested. These are further reinforced by the Virtual Assets Act of 2023, which provides a legal framework for digital asset innovation. Furthermore, our support for startups continues to grow as our own organization, NIBDB, in collaboration with the National Commission on Research, Science and Technology, launched what we call Scale Up Namibia, a network of innovation hubs and entrepreneurship support organization. SUN aims to close ecosystem gaps and foster a more coordinated, high-impact support environment for entrepreneurship. In conclusion, with its strategic location, our country's stable governance, modern infrastructure, and strong sectoral opportunities, Namibia is emerging as a regional launchpad for scalable and sustainable innovation. The convergence of supportive policies, financial infrastructure, and a growing startup ecosystem positions the country as a compelling destination for long-term and high-impact investment. So if you want to reach out, please feel free to reach me via LinkedIn at Linda McLeod, or please feel free to reach out via email and the team can happily share that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Linda. Thank you for discussing more about Namibia. It's a very interesting ecosystem, and I'm sure we learned a lot about the ecosystem, and we were excited to hear more in the coming years. Thank you. So we will be now going back to Europe, and we will be hearing more about the ecosystem of Istanbul, Turkey. We will be hearing from 𝗬𝗲 𝗬𝗂, who is the Entrepreneurship and Business Development Manager at IMM Tech Istanbul, and also 𝗬𝗫 𝗬𝗂, who is the Senior Entrepreneurship Specialist also at IMM Tech Istanbul. So while they are both being promoted, I will tell you more about the achievements of Istanbul this year. So this year, Istanbul is currently ranked 12th in Europe and 50th globally. Some interesting industries include e-commerce and retail, where they are 8th in Europe, and also games. So,
Hi.
hello, 𝗬𝗲 and 𝗬𝗫. Yes, so 5 minutes is starting, and we're really happy to have you.
Okay, we are sharing the screen. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. We are happy to be here today. I am Hatice, the Entrepreneurship and Business Development Manager at Istanbul Metropolitan Municipality Entrepreneurship Brand Tech Istanbul. And this is 𝗬𝗫 from Tech Istanbul team. Turkey has a population of over 85 million and more than half under 35. So it is home to a dynamic, tech-savvy and entrepreneurial generation, strategically located between Europe, Asia, and the Middle East as a bridge. It offers access to 1.5 million people within a 4-hour flight radius. With over 85% internet penetration and top global rankings in social media and mobile app usage, Turkey is a fertile ground for digital innovation. Istanbul is Turkey's largest metropolis with a population of over 60 million, and it is larger than 38 European countries. It has a youth population of 4.7 million and around 14 million internet users with 96% internet accessibility. And Istanbul Metropolitan Municipality operates with 30 subsidiaries, more than 100 units, 2 major affiliates, and workforce of over 95,000 people. Now let's take a closer look at our startup ecosystem. In 2024, Turkey ranked second globally in the number of pre-seed investment deals, while Istanbul was ranked 30th among emerging startup ecosystem worldwide. Our ecosystem is supported by a strong network of players, over 600 accredited angel investors, more than 400 VCs, 91 CVCs, and we are proud to have 2 decacorns and 7 unicorns.
And I want to highlight Istanbul's role in investments, as it essentially reflects Turkey's overall investment landscape. In 2024, Turkey saw $1.1 billion invested across 469 rounds, and Istanbul accounted for 91% of total investment and 51% of all deals. And on the right, you can see the chart showing fund distribution by city, and Istanbul hosts nearly all of the investment funds in our country. Here you can see the journey of our startup ecosystem from early signs to experience. The ecosystem showed its early signs with the establishment of the first venture capital company in 2010. Over the next 6 years, as new players entered the scene, we moved into the learning periods. And after a restructuring phase, by 2020, the ecosystem began to mature and gain experience. And in the recent year, gaming, fintech, AI, and SaaS have been the top funded industries. And we are proud to say that Istanbul is the second largest gaming hub in Europe. And why has Istanbul become known as a gaming hub? As you can see here, we host over 500 gaming studios. There are gaming-only incubators and accelerators, and 13 gaming-only dedicated funds. We also have 2 gaming unicorns and 5 successful exits. Our gaming hub story started with Peak Games' successful exit, which led to over 82 new startups funded by more than 100 former Peak employees. So what are we doing at Tech Istanbul to strengthen our ecosystem? We facilitate the rapid growth of startups. We support all the stakeholders to elevate Istanbul's presence in global, and we connect tech talent with innovation. And we are a new brand, but over the past 3 years, we have supported more than 500 startups and developed over 200 partnerships worldwide. And with our pre-incubation program, we support early stage startups across Turkey, and our growth program open to scale-ups from all around the world and offers an excellent opportunity, providing scale-ups with a chance to run POC with one of the world's largest metropolises, Istanbul Metropolitan Municipality. And so far, we have completed 58 successful POCs. And why this is important, for instance, running a POC with Istanbul Metropolitan Municipality's parking operator, İSPARK. It means running a POC with Europe's largest parking operator. Additionally, we have featured some startups within our municipality's super app, and we are giving them access to over 5 million active users. So thank you for listening. Please feel free to reach out if you have any questions or would like to get in touch.
Thank you very much, Nursali and Hatice. It was great to know more about the ecosystem and the vibrant activity, especially on the gaming industry. Thank you for joining us. I'd like to now introduce my colleague Lisa, who will be presenting the rest of the presentations for today. Hi, Lisa.
Hello again. Hi, Katrin. Super interesting presentation, so we can keep it going. The next location that we wanted to invite is Georgetown, Malaysia. Mr. 𝗂𝗂𝗏𝗂𝗁, who is the Senior Executive of Marketing at Digital Penang. If you could join us, and while that is happening, there you go. Hello. We can share that Georgetown is up by 47 spots this year, second in Malaysia, and 9th in Southeast Asia, 59th in Asia. So some really interesting statistics there, and quite a huge growth. So just to also cover the overperforming industries, it's in e-commerce and retail, 37th in Asia and 9th in Southeast Asia. So with that, I'd like to pass it to you, Eric. Thank you so much for joining us.
Okay, thank you so much for the introduction. Let me just start by sharing my screen right away. And I hope you guys can see it. Yeah, I hope you are looking at my screen right now. So hi again, good afternoon everyone, and I believe some of you is morning on your end, so good morning to you too, to my fellow ecosystem builder. I am Eric Tu from Digital Penang. We are a government agency tasked with driving the digital transformation of Penang. So I would like to set the scene by giving a brief introduction to Penang. So Malaysia has a few ecosystems that's been working closely together. One, of course, is Penang, and we also have Selangor, which was kindly highlighted by our ecosystem friend from Kaohsiung. And we also have Sarawak and many other ecosystems. So for the presentation this time, I will just focus on data related to Penang. So Penang is the northern state of Malaysia, and as you can see from this picture, we have a very vibrant Georgetown city that is surrounded by sea and nature. In fact, Penang has over 2 centuries old trading port, and we are also known as the Silicon Valley of the East because our semiconductor industry contribute to over 5% of the global semiconductor export. Now, the Penang state government is focusing on the digital economy. So I'll just move on to my next slide. And what you see here are photos that have been taken this morning because we are having workshop, panel discussion, and networking session that is focusing on the latest technology, including AI, automation, and also including investment. So I want to highlight that we have activities going on in 4 locations of Georgetown simultaneously. So we have international speakers and audience participating in this startup ecosystem. So I believe this is a testament to our ecosystem vibrancy. So moving on, let me rephrase that. The Penang state government has recently launched the Digital Economy Master Plan, which is essentially the roadmap to digitalization for the next 5 years. We are focusing on digital government, economy, society, and foundation. But for the purpose of this pitching, I will just focus on digital economy. Right now, Penang is supporting over 200 startups, and building on the strong foundation of Penang's foundation in semiconductor, we are right now encouraging and nurturing our researchers, scientists, and engineers to bring their prototype from the laboratories to market. So we train them through entrepreneurship master classes, and we connect them with local investors here in Penang. And our state is also famous for our art, including music, graphic design, and animation. So we create a platform for our entrepreneurs to network and scale their business together. And of course, that doesn't mean that we are neglecting startups from other verticals, because we have prominent startups in fintech, health tech, green tech, space tech, and more. And I'll just highlight some of our success stories at the end of this presentation. So what we do here is that we provide a very strong ecosystem for our startup founders, and we link them with our investors, including the venture capitalist VCs and the angel investors here. And we open the market access for our startups. So in 2013 and in 2014, we brought let me rephrase that. In 2020, just 2 years ago, we brought our startup to Indonesia. And last year, we brought our startup in Thailand. So what we did was we formed a formal partnership with fellow ecosystem builders in those countries to enable our startups to access their market, register their business over there, and access the local investors in those countries. Now, just to move on, we cannot talk about the economy in Malaysia without mentioning our micro, small, and medium enterprises, because that's the whole ecosystem over here. And we are empowering our MSMEs with digital adoption of the latest digital tools. And since we embrace digitalization, we want to make sure that our SMEs are practicing the latest cybersecurity. And we also ensure financial inclusion for SMEs. Digital Penang is form formal relationship with our bank, so that it's much easier for our businesses to apply for loan. In fact, they can apply for loan without going to the bank itself. Everything can be done online. And we also ensure that our SMEs are ESG enabled, so that they can continue to be the solution provider and service and solution provider to market across Malaysia. So these are just some of the notable achievements, and thank you again to Startup Blink for giving Georgetown the Outstanding Ecosystem Award in 2023. And one of our startup, Ado Biotech, has also won the TechSource Innovation Award, which is a regional level award ceremony. And what you see in the photo over there is actually a satellite that can fit on the palm of your hand. So 2 years ago, one of our startups, SpaceIn, has launched their kickoff satellite through SpaceX Falcon 9 into the orbit, and that enables Internet of Things through the kickoff satellite. And 2 our startups, Fixstar and Visual Solution, has represented Southeast Asia on an international level competition, which is She Loves That. So I've noticed that due to the time constraint, I will just end here. But I would love to collaborate and work with our ecosystem builders over here. So please take your time to email us, and I'd love to hear from you. So that's all from my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Eric. It was really interesting to hear also about how you're creating these partnerships with other ecosystems and broadening those experiences and opportunities to enter other places as well. Thanks again. The next location that we're excited to invite is Da Nang from Vietnam. If the speakers could please raise your hands so our team can promote you. And while you're doing that, I'd like to introduce Mrs. Trang Doan, who is the Deputy Director of the Da Nang Business Incubator, and Mr. Nguyen Viet Toan, Director of Da Nang Innovation Startup Support Center. While you're coming on screen, there you are. Lovely to see you. Thank you for joining us. Just a quick introduction. So Da Nang in Vietnam has increased by 130 spots. Oh, there's a bit of feedback. Yeah, great, thank you. And is 3rd in Vietnam, 22nd in Southeast Asia. And we're keen to hear more about all of the industries, but in particular, the hardware and IoT is 9th in Southeast Asia. So thank you so much for joining us, and over to you both.
Hello, everyone. It is a great honor for us to represent Da Nang today and share the insights about our startup ecosystem to the global audience. And I would like to express my appreciation to Startup Link for creating a very meaningful event, and also allowing us for the opportunity to learn from the most startup ecosystem, advanced startup ecosystem. Maybe we will share the screen. Yes. So let me introduce Mr. Toàn Nguyễn. He is the Director of Da Nang Innovation Startup Support Center under the Department of Science and Technology in Da Nang City. And my name is Trang Dong. I'm the Deputy Director of DNES. We are a public-private incubator in the central region of Vietnam. And also joining this event today also are the startups and individuals who also share the same interest in entrepreneurship and innovation. So our vision by 2045 is we want to become a large, ecological, and smart city. So a center that great for startup and innovation, and a place that is great to live in. And Da Nang is really working on to develop the startup ecosystem and keep up with the global development trends in the field of artificial intelligence, semiconductor, blockchain technology, renewable energy, biotech, cloud computing, etc. And we really, as like the economic and tech center in central Vietnam, we really aiming for becoming the national hub of innovations and startups. And to do so, the city really developing a comprehensive startup ecosystem with the right policy, infrastructure, human resources, and community. A little bit about Da Nang location. So we located in the central region of Vietnam with a very convenient transportation infrastructure. And we serve as like the gateway of the East-West Economic Corridor. We have the international airport and the largest seaport in Vietnam, making it very easy to access to other ASEAN countries and also to the rest of the world. And after merging with Quảng Nam province in the new time, we will cover nearly 12,000 kilometers square with a population of over 3 million people, and we have both forests and seas rich in natural resources. This is our Da Nang International Airport. This is our largest seaport in the central of Vietnam. About the startup support from the government. So Da Nang City government has issued a total nearly of 30 policies on science, technology, and innovative startups. And what really exciting about these are very outstanding breakthrough and have never been done before in Vietnam. For example, we have the control testing on new technology solution, the sandbox. The startup and startup support activities get tax exemptions. And startups can also access to scientific and technological infrastructure access, especially those in the field of semiconductor and artificial intelligence. And on top of that, the city has the policy to support for the startups in the technological innovation, support for the growth of intellectual property, and has the incentives and rewards for individuals, for scientists and organizations that have breakthrough contributions to the city. And we also established the first time ever free trade zone in Da Nang City, and this will promise to create the momentum for Da Nang to have the breakthrough development. We also have the International Financial Center in Da Nang. This is designed to attract the strategic partners, financial institutions, legal services, consulting firms, and also attract domestic and international investors. In terms of infrastructures, so Da Nang is currently building the Da Nang Innovation Startup Space with the total investment about 500 billion Vietnam dong, so equivalent to 20 million USD. And this space will be served like as a central hub for innovation startups, bringing together startup talents, connecting to the network and supporting the development of innovative startup projects. We also building like a software park number 2, and this park will be used to accommodate 6,000 tech professionals. And we also prioritize this space for strategic partners, strategic investors, small businesses in the field of semiconductor and artificial intelligence. About our picture of the startup ecosystem. So the startup ecosystem in Vietnam is growing rapidly and vibrant, and we're connecting to the international resources. We have 200 startups, and each year we have around 50 large and small events with a lot of investment capital raising for the startups. And two of our most important events, one is named 𝗁. So 𝗁 is the event like a festival, startup festival that will happen in August. It's like attracting around 2,000 to 3,000 people attending each year, including startups, investors, and experts. And we also have 𝗬𝗲. So 𝗬𝗲 is like the direct matchmaking sessions between the investor and startups that will happen at the end of this May. The most importantly, the city really focused on building and improve the quality of the human resources. We have the system of universities, college, vocational training centers, and each year 100,000 students are trained in the universities. And we also have like a network of professors and associated professors, and also experts and scientists. And so this is to create the strong push for the startup ecosystem in terms of scientific research, in terms of technological development and innovation. And finally, some of the results that we have achieved so far. So we are named as the most attractive city for innovative and innovations and startups. 4 times we are rewarded as like excellent smart city for 5 consecutive years. And in terms of the innovation index, Da Nang ranked the 5th out of 63 provinces and cities nationwide. And we are also like the locality that very active in implementing the Industry 4.0 and digital digital transformation. Thank you very much for your listening, and we really hope to welcome all of you to Da Nang City to partner with us and invest in our activities. Thank you very much.
Thank you both so much for sharing all of those very interesting events and the 30 Policies initiative, the free trade zone. There's a lot going on. So really grateful for you sharing that with everybody present. Okay, so the next location that we're traveling to is to Barcelona. I'd like to welcome 𝗬𝗂 from Axio. She's the project manager startup Catalonia. And a little bit while she's joining us, Barcelona is first in Spain and 5th in the EU. In health tech, it's 2nd in the EU, and in gaming, 6th in Europe this year. So 𝗬𝗂, lovely to see you. Thank you so much for joining us. And I'll leave it to you. Thank you.
Thank you all, and thank you especially to Startup Blink to have us here today. I will show the full screen. Okay. So welcome all to Catalonia, a thriving startup hub. If you want to know more about the startup ecosystem in Catalonia, if you want to discover why Barcelona is one of the top Europe's startup ecosystem, you should look at the analysis of the startup ecosystem in Catalonia 2025, carried out by Axio. Axio is a Catalan company from the Catalan government that we have two main focuses. One is innovation and the other is internationalization of companies. So in my case, we are focused on startups. How can you access to the ecosystem? We have over 2,000 startups in Catalonia, 77% based in Barcelona. We have a big startup hub that you can sort by technology or sector, and you can look at which startups are part of our ecosystem. We are one of the top 10 startup hubs in Europe. Our strengths are our technologies. We are focused on deep tech, life science, mobility, gaming, and sustainability. 20% of the founders that we have in Barcelona, Catalonia, are international. And 21% of the employees in our startups are foreigners. So we also give access to markets. How? Because we are in a strategic location. We are a Mediterranean hub with access to the European Union and LATAM. Catalonia is Spain's most industrialized region, and we are also home to global tech innovation centers like Microsoft, Amazon, Nestlé, PepsiCo, Ocado, Bayer, Hewlett-Packard. So we also give access to knowledge and experience. We have 12 top-ranked universities, and we are home to 160 global technology development centers. We also have a rich network of accelerators, incubators, innovation labs. All these you will find in our study. We have a key ecosystem players: Norsken House, Barcelona Activa from the City Council, Tech Barcelona, a private association of entrepreneurs, Mobile World Capital, Barcelona Finance Hub, Barcelona Health Hub, besides Axio. We also give access to funding with global presence. The major startup events are held in Barcelona. We have 4 years from now, from the Mobile World Congress, we have the Tech Spirit, the 𝗂𝗂 Barcelona Health Revolution Congress, and other main events. We also have a global VC presence. 70% of the top 20 investment rounds in 2024 are international. In this report, you can find which are the main domestic investors and also some of the main international investors and which have been investing in these top startups from Catalonia. We also have access to funding instruments. We have an active network of local VCs, business angels, and corporate investors. We have been growing in venture capital maturity and availability. 𝗂𝗁𝗂 also provides equity-free grants and soft loans for startups and gives innovation support. We also have international presence through more than 40 offices connected to international funding. So if you want to know more, we can share this report, and also you can contact us and we will be happy to help you on whatever you need. So thank you for having all you today.
Thank you so much, Laia. Very, very interesting presentation and impressive 40 offices internationally. So everybody online could have a look how close you are to them. Now we're going to be moving to South Korea. If you just wouldn't mind stop sharing the presentation, Laia, that would be great. Thank you. So South Korea, we're very pleased to invite Crystal Lee, who's the manager of Global Partnerships team at KISED. While Crystal is joining us, South Korea has actually ranked 3rd in East Asia this year and 20th globally. Its overperforming industries are hardware and IoT, 13th globally and 4th in Asia Pacific, with software and data seeing them 2nd in East Asia. I'd like to pass to you, Crystal, if you're ready. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Yes. Hello, everyone. It's a real pleasure to be here with you today. My name is Crystal. I'm a manager from the Global Partnership team at KISED, the Korean Institute of Startup and Entrepreneurship Development. We are the government-designated organization under the Ministry of SMEs and Startups. Thank you to the previous speakers for sharing such meaningful presentations with slides. But I'm going to keep mine very brief and to the point, how far we've come and where we're headed. So traditionally, Korea's economy was led by the large conglomerates like Samsung, LG, Hyundai. But as the fourth industrial revolution gained momentum and as the global technological competition intensified, Korea realized the need for a new engine of the growth. That engine, startups, powered by innovation, agility, and bold ideas. Today, startups are one of the key drivers of our economy. So Korea ventures have gained international recognition at major global events like CES, the Consumer Electronics Show. In fact, by 2021, at major global events like CES, by 2021, so in Korea, we already had created over 800,000 jobs and generated more than $238 billion in revenue, even exceeding some traditional conglomerates. The Korean government has taken this very seriously. On national level, startup policy is now in place, supporting entrepreneurs at every stage, from early incubation to going global and becoming unicorns. So what makes Korean startup ecosystem stand out? Let me highlight a few key strengths. First, we have highly educated and tech-savvy talent pool. Second, major Korean conglomerates are actively supporting startups through the open innovation and strategic partnerships with them. Third, we have world-class IT infrastructure. Internet is here in Korea is super fast, reliable, and everywhere. And last but not least, we have strong government support. In 2024, the Korean government allocated around $2.8 billion to support startups. That's a 640% increase over the past decade. In terms of the venture capital investment, Korea has also seen rapid growth. In 2023, the total investment reached approximately $8.4 billion, a 370% increase over the past 10 years. And according to Pittsburgh, Korea is ranked fifth in the world in terms of venture ecosystem growth, outpacing even the US and the UK in terms of growth rate. We are also proud to have 13 unicorn companies, startups valued at over $1 billion, covering a range of sectors like fintech, mobility, e-commerce, and biotech. And we expect even more to emerge in the near future. As I mentioned earlier, CES is a good example of Korea's global footprint. At CES 2024, 128 Korean startups were awarded, more than any other country, including the US and the UK. That shows how competitive and innovative Korean startups have become on the global stage. In short, Korea is no longer just tech manufacturing powerhouse. We are also a growing startup powerhouse, offering strong infrastructure, talent, capital, and policy support. Thank you so much for your attention. If you are interested in learning more or connecting with Korean startups, I'd be happy to speak with you further after this session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Crystal. Thanks for joining us and sharing, especially the significant investment going into startups in South Korea. We'll move now to our final pitch, which is last but certainly not least from Helsinki in Finland. I'd like to introduce Ilona Kuusi, who is a manager, research and customer insights from Helsinki Partners. While you're joining, hello, how are you?
I'm fine. Can you see me?
See you, hear you, all
Great.
good. Yeah.
Okay. Well, nice to meet you. And
nice to meet you too. Over to you.
Screen, yes. Thank you. So, okay. Is it all clear? There.
All good. Yep.
Okay, great. So, hi everyone. My name is Ilona Kuusi and I'm from Helsinki Partners, which is our city marketing, investment and talent attraction company. And it's a real pleasure to be representing Helsinki here. And it's a real good news for us as well to be rising for spots from the ranks this year. And yeah, more importantly, we're currently building long-term momentum as one of Europe's most resilient, ambitious, and human-centered startup ecosystems. So I'll just give a quick overview of our startup ecosystem. So we're the capital of the world's happiest country, and I think that says a lot. We take innovation seriously, but we also believe that founders do their best work when they live well. So quality of life, trust, and openness is built to everything we do. And Greater Helsinki area has over 1,800 startups and over 37 billion euros in ecosystem value. Furthermore, we have 73 startup platforms, various free ecosystem services, and actually from early stage support to scale up funding, we have the full startup life cycle covered, and it's supported by open data, world-class public services, and a collaborative culture. And We have actually Europe's largest clean rooms to city-wide test beds, and actually it's like enabling the startups to trial their solutions in the real world environment with real users. And let me just tell you then more about what makes Helsinki stand out. So first, we are the capital of the world's happiest country. We actually offer really good quality of life. So happiness, safety, and trust, we think they're not soft factors, but they're what helps the founders thrive, not just survive. And then we offer access to Europe's deep tech core. So we are at the forefront of AI, quantum computing, semiconductors, sustainable materials, and green data infrastructure. And furthermore, now with our NATO membership, we actually have kind of like global openness in addition to our digital infrastructure and geopolitical agility. So we offer a stable and secure base for founders and investors. And I think that's something that matters currently more than ever. And the fourth thing we are really proud of is how we open the doors for international talent and capital. So we have, for example, this 90-day Fin program, which is bringing top-level international founders to experience Helsinki, not just as tech hub, but as a place to live, build, and belong. And furthermore, we have this Venture Nordics program, which provides a fast track for LPs and VCs for exploring the Nordic investment landscape. And here is just a short overview of the various public funding instruments we have, including Business Finland, Finnvera, 𝗬𝗓, Finnfund, European Investment Bank, so on. And just a quick glimpse of our test beds, which actually cover like a real wide range of possibilities, starting from schools, going all the way with our completely open data system, all the way to harbor and sea and air. So what's to expect in 2025? Well, Finland has ranked first in the UN Sustainable Goals Development Index, and we continue to be recognized as a global leader in innovation-driven sustainability. And I think this reflects our national commitment to responsible growth. It's a mindset we'll be scaling in 2025. And looking ahead, we're focusing on building innovation districts that accelerate commercialization and attract large-scale capital. And we are also looking to continue strengthening global partnerships, events, and soft landing services. I think, my point is that Finland offers strong fundamentals, euro-based currency, well-regulated financial system, and transparent legal framework. And with a planned reduction in the corporate tax from 20% to 18% by 2027, I think it makes even more attractive to invest and grow here. So if you're looking for a startup ecosystem that combines deep tech with deep values, look no further. Helsinki will be your launchpad for global solution and a place where ambition meets meaning. So if you're a founder, funder, or ecosystem builder looking for a home that's bold, resilient, and genuinely supportive, come talk to us. Welcome to Helsinki. You.
Thank you very much, Ilona. Very interesting. Nice way to end the pitches with happiness. Yeah, we thank you so much. Thank you to all the presenters, and I'd like to hand it back to Katrin Thanks, Katrin.
Thank you, Lisa, and thank you to everyone who presented. It was really great to hear about different ecosystems from around the world. It was a very diverse session. We heard from ecosystems in Asia, in Europe, and also in Africa. We will be hearing more ecosystems, like I mentioned, on the 3 p.m. session. So if you're also interested to learn more about those ecosystems, feel free to join us at that session. So thank you everyone for joining us. It's a great pleasure to celebrate our launch event for this year. Thank you to all our ecosystem partners, startups, and the rest of ecosystem developers that have joined our launch event. I really hope that you all enjoyed celebrating the launch of our event today, of our 2025 results. Don't forget to download our global ecosystem report if you haven't done so. The link should be on the chat right now. The recording of this session and the session also at 3 p.m. will also be circulated via newsletter tomorrow and in the coming days. So if you missed any of the pitches or at the beginning of the session, you can catch up on that. So yes, so if you haven't added your startup yet to the map, you can add it on startuplink.com. And for other inquiries, you can email us at feedback@startuplink.com to know more about how we can work together, or if you have any questions about the report. Yes, so thank you everyone, and we hope you have a great rest of the day. Thank you again for celebrating this great report with us. Yes.